heiße Ramona und ich komme aus Deutschland. Hello, my name is Ramona and I'm from Germany.
Halo, nama saya Indah dan saya berasal dari Indonesia. Hello, my name is Indah and I'm from Indonesia.
Today we want to talk about the stereotypes in our countries. So Indah, what stereotypes do you know about Germany?
In my opinion, German people are individuals. German people are rich. Sex before marriage is very common. They love discipline and mostly don't have any religions or are atheists. Ramona, what stereotypes do you know about Indonesians?
First of all, there is a lot of poverty and people live with big families in small houses, mostly made out of wood. Another one is the low education standard, and often girls don't go to school and the attitude towards it is very traditional and the role images and everything. And prostitution and sex tourism is very common, and also exploitation of women, of girls, and the working conditions in general are bad. And Indonesians drink a lot of tea, although it is hot, and you celebrate quite archaic rituals and the nature spirituality is very strong, very common, and you have a strong connection to nature.
Indonesia is a developing country that raises a poverty rate of 9.82%. Several decades ago, living with large family in a small house and building a house from wood was indeed a common thing. But now, many people, when they decide to get married, they try to build or buy a house and live with their partner. At the moment, the average house in Indonesia is made of cement. But in some areas, they still use wooden houses, and even now there are still some people who build houses using wood to minimize the damage caused by earthquakes. Low education. That was still a problem a few years ago. Now, education in Indonesia is starting to improve. Starting from 5 years ago, the government began to gradually change some things. One of the points of the agenda was education. Millions of scholarships are given to students to continue their education both within our country and abroad. Sex tourism. In fact, all my countries are sure to have a place of prostitution. In Indonesia, it is a famous for that because there is a prostitution places in tourism areas. For examples like Bali. In Indonesia, talking about sex is a big taboo. Drink a lot of tea. Yes, this is quite true. We drink a lot of tea. When we eat at a food place, we usually order iced tea or iced orange. When someone comes to our house, usually guests will be welcomed with a cup of hot tea or hot coffee. We also have various types of drinks made from tea. Archaic rituals and nature spiritually. Now, there have been some changes towards modernizations in thinking, but some Indonesians still believe in things like that.
Quite correct. For us it's important to study, to get a good job, to have a good career and as much financial security as possible. But we young people also want to find our own way and do the things we like. and often there is a conflict between the generations because the old want more security and the children want more fun and adventure. It's a common fact that Germany is one of the richest countries in the world and our economy works well, but there are many people who struggle and they don't have so much money, and for example there are the pensioners who don't get enough money anymore, or also single mothers. And if someone lost his job, the state doesn't allow the people to have a high standard of living, only the most important needs. And if you don't stick to the rules of the state as a person in need, then there are also sanctions, punishments, and they reduce your, let's say, your salary, your social care. Then you don't get so much money anymore. If you do something the state doesn't like. Many young people have partners and they do it. It's common, but parents don't like it so much, of course. I don't know if there is a law, but I think it's officially allowed when you reached full age. Before, I don't know. But if an 18-year-old guy or older does it with a younger girl, not yet full age, then he can be punished for abuse of children, of minors. Yes, it's a common and quite important value we try to stick to. Germans like to have their everyday life structured, and you shouldn't be lazy also. There is quite a lot of prejudice towards migrants hanging around instead of working, and also towards, for example, the southern countries where they have a different attitude. In school they expect us to sit still and do a lot of homework, and you have to structure your work yourself. You don't really learn how to do it, so they only expect it, and that can be really hard for children and for families, a lot of stress. And that's a big issue. Then the topic of discipline is a big issue in most households with school children, because of course there is a conflict between the children and parents if the children don't want to do the homework, and the parents want to educate them to have more discipline and so on. It's not true that most of us are atheist. Most of us are baptized, Catholics, or Protestant. And in the north we have more Protestant, in the south we have more Catholics. As today our society is more liberal, or very liberal, we have many different individual opinions about religion and how to live it, and we also have many alternative lifestyles and way of spirituality. Some want to stick more to the Bible and to the church rules. Some find more sense in, let's say, esoteric paths, and also inspired by other religions. And atheists are either those who are baptized but don't care at all, as they stick more to the secular models of thinking, or they break off with the church for many different reasons. For example, also the money, and some continue believing, but they break off with the church. So from this, you can see that stereotypes don't always match with reality, but in some way you can estimate the situation in a more realistic way by having stereotypes.
Yeah, so these are our images, the stereotypes in our country. So bye.
Bye. Ciao.